Hey guys, I'm Cash up here, and in today's video, we're going to solve LeetCode question number 1051, height checker. So before we head into the question, you will need a bit of understanding of arrays, how to search and sort an array, but if you know all that and you know about zero indexing, you should be ready for this problem. So let's get started by reading the problem statement, and we'll head into the solution and my explanation. So, a school is trying to take an annual photo of all the students. The students are asked to stand in a single file line in non-decreasing order by height. Let this ordering be represented by the integer array expected, where expected of I is the expected height of the ith student in the line. You are given an integer array heights representing the current order that the students are standing in. Each heights of I is the height of the ith student in the line, which is zero indexed. Return the number of indices where heights of I is not equal to expected of I. So let's take for example that you're in a school and you're taking your annual school photo for your student ID. And so you're expected to be in a single file line, which goes in an ascending order, meaning the shortest people are in the starting and the tallest people are in the ending. And we're given an integer array that represents this line, the single file line, at the given moment. And this moment is when everyone is supposed to be lined up by. So we're supposed to check if everyone is in their right position. And we're supposed to return the amount of people that are not in the right position, which is just the number of indices. So we're going to run through a bit of the test case and see how I would solve it and how we're going to solve it intuitionally. So I'm going to take my marker over here and we're going to run through this test case over here. So the height is equal to 114213. So our actual single file line is just a sorted array of this, right? So first we're going to sort this array, and when we do sort it, Python automatically sorts it ascending order. So our new array should be looking like this. It's expected. So our new array is 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, let me just do it a better way. And take text. So it should be 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's our expected array because it's a sorted version and the corrective version of our heights array. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare every value in heights with every value in expected. This is kind of like a two-pointer approach, but for two different arrays. So we're going to start at the same indices for heights and expected. So first we're going to compare the first indice over here. Okay, it's the same, so that matches, so there's nothing wrong over there. Second indice also matches. Oh, third indice does not match. So we also have to include a counter in our, solution. So we're going to set up a counter over here. We're going to call it count. So this counter here, let me just, this counter is responsible for counting the number of correct indices. So we're going to set count is equal to 0, right? So all the way up to this indice, our count is 0. But as soon as we get to our third position, or the second index, we can see that there's a mismatch over here. So in our heights array, the index over here, the value is 4, whereas over here it's 1. Meaning that this person has a mismatch. So we increment it by 1. Now, we move on to our next index, which is over here, 2, 2. That matches, it's fine. Oh, 3 and 1. That does not match, so it's a wrong index. So we're going to change that up over here. So yeah, this is supposed to be 2 now. 2. So now our count is 2. And over here we can see that, again, 4 and 3 do not match up in the same position. So we have the same problem, meaning that they don't have a they have a mismatch. So we set to increment this by 1, and our final answer should be 3, meaning that there's 3 mismatches in our expected array and our heights array. If we do the same technique for the second example over here, see that 5 and 1 have a mismatch, so we go up by 1. 1 and 2 have a mismatch, so we go up by 1. 2 and 3 have a mismatch, up by 1. 3 and 4 have a mismatch, up by 1. 4 and 5 have a mismatch, and up by 1. So our final answer is just all the people because no one was in the right order. So by doing this method, we will achieve O of n time complexity and O of n space complexity because we will need to save all these values. So what we can do now is we can just go ahead and code up the solution in our terminal. In our IDE real quick, or code editor. So we're going to take this template and let's solve it. So, oh, wait, bad. So yeah. So what we tried to do is we sorted the array. We compared every element in both arrays, and we checked it. So here's how it's going to go. So first we do our imports, hashtag. So this is for if you're working with type definition in Python, you're going to need to use from typing import list, because that helps you use type definition for arrays in Python. So now that we have our imports done, we can start coding it up. So first we're going to need to do our sorting algorithm. Usually you wouldn't use bubble sort, which is the most basic sort which we have over here, because it does result in O of n squared worst case scenario. But it doesn't matter, because our time complexity will be n overall. So here's how we're going to go. So we're going to go array is equal to order of heights. So in Python, when we use sorted or any sorting algorithm, by default, it's set to be done ascending order, and because that's the most time you'll ever use it. If you do want to use descending order, you can say comma reverse equals true, which would be in descending order then. So we have our sorted array done. So once we're done sorting our array, what we can do now is we can compare each element with every other one. Remember, we also have to set up a counter. So let's set up a counter. We're going to set it count is equal to 0. So now that we have set up our counter, we can actually start checking for this stuff. So what we're going to do is for I in range of len of heights, being we're just looping through every single one of these elements using this index. So we're going to compare. We're going to do the comparison method now. So if heights of I is not equal to array of I, then we do count plus of equals 1, right? Meaning that we're just checking if it's correct. If it's in the correct position, then we continue and we add 1. If it's on the correct position, actually, this explains that if our heights, meaning that final array, is not in the right order, we just add 1 every single time we increment it by 1. And so once we're done with this, we should have our final answer and we can return count. Right? So let's try the solution out, see how it works. We're going to debug if there is any errors. I don't think there is. Actually, let's test it right now. Let's do our testing. So let's set up our test cases over here. We're going to set bad. And actually, I'm going to change this up over here because array is not a right name, you know. We're going to change it to expected. Change all occurrences to expected. Boom. This makes it better because this is an actual name for an array, because this is what they use and this is like the best name you could possibly give it. So now, we're just going to copy this test case over here and see if we get the same one. Let's run this. 3. So we got the right test case. Let's try another one. Well, you also have to remember that if your code ever doesn't work out, remember to always debug it. Don't always look at a solution. I like to wait for about an hour and then check it. So yeah, we have it correct over here, 3 and then 5. Boom. So let's try the final one out. 0. So our code does work out because it's a simple solution. All we have to do is just compare each element in both the arrays that are in the same position, and we just have to increment it by 1. So our time complexity here is O of n, and that's the best we can actually go because we have to loop through the whole array. So that's already O of n. And also sorting it is also O of n. So let's submit the solution. Run it real quick. Accepted. So submit it. And there we go. That is the solution for height checker 1051, which talks about arrays, searching and sorting in arrays. It's a pretty easy question, and it's a pretty good start to learning about arrays a bit more deeply and using them in real life applications. Thank you for watching, and have a good journey LeetCoding.